Hello and welcome to Military Mayday. We're pointing out a few pieces on the chessboard. Got a pretty good sized piece, I'd like to think so here, about American troops having to fight Russians in Europe. Yeah, that's a call out there, letting you know what's going to be happening here soon. I think that it'll be around the end of next year, first of 2025. You're going to start seeing a lot of American troops. I think they're going to hit Germany. I think that's where the nuke's going to hit. It'll be small tactical yield. Who knows? I mean, war can go anyway. I'm just kind of war gaming, I guess you could say. If you like this kind of information, hit the subscribe button, like the channel, or whatever. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, I'm sorry. Let's get into this article. Joe Biden raises the specter of American troops having to fight Russians in Europe if Congress stands by and allows Ukraine to fall. President Biden on Wednesday warned that American troops could have to fight Russian forces if Congress prevents further aid from being sent to Ukraine. He demanded that lawmakers approve his request for tens of billions in military and economic assistance. Republicans have said they are not willing to countenance other major package of aid unless the administration takes action on the southern border. But Biden and Republicans were handling Russian President Vladimir Putin a gift. This cannot wait, he said in a televised address. Congress needs to pass supplemental funding for Ukraine before they break for the holiday recess. Simple as that, frankly. Okay. His administration is warning of dire sequences for Kyiv, and lawmakers don't act to support flowing, and European allies are increasingly alarmed at the consequences for democracy in their backyard. Biden reeled off the abuses committed by Putin and his troops in Ukraine and warned that Russia would not be content stopping there. It's important to see the long run here. He's going to keep going. He's made that pretty clear. Putin attacks a NATO ally if he keeps going, and then he attacks a NATO ally when we've committed as a NATO member to defend every inch of NATO territory, then we'll have something that we don't seek and that we don't want to have today: American troops fighting Russian troops. So what he's saying is that Putin's gonna attack a NATO member, and then America has to get involved because we are about 65% of NATO anyway, and so it's pretty much like attacking America. He accused Republicans of holding aid hostage over the border, of being willing to kneecap Ukrainian forces on the battlefield. Republicans in Congress are willing to give Putin the greatest gift he could hope for, he said. Okay, we've already read through that. Biden's speech came soon after he held a video call with leaders of the group, 7 advanced democracies, who have all backed Ukraine, the Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky. Ukrainian leaders used to call to underline the case for more support. Russians believe that Americans and Europeans will show weakness and will not maintain support for Ukraine at the proper level. Putin believes that the free world will not fully enforce its own sanctions, he said, according to an account of the conversation hosted this week, posted on his website. The free world vitally needs to maintain its consolidation, maintain interaction, maintain support for those whose freedom is being attacked. Biden asked Congress for more than $100 billion to fund conflicts in Ukraine and Israel, as well as in matters of national security. However, Republicans on Capitol Hill resisted the request, and they want border work. And yeah, I do too, and everybody does. We are out of money to support Ukraine in this fight. This isn't a next year problem. The time to help a democratic Ukraine fight against Russian aggression is right now. It is time for Congress to act. Republican leaders quickly dug in. Speaker Mike Johnson promised that there would be no funding for Ukraine without transformative border security provision. Ukraine funding is independent upon enactment of a transformative change to our nation's border security laws, he wrote in a letter. British Foreign Secretary David Cameron is due to arrive in Washington, D.C. Wednesday as part of the effort to persuade U.S. lawmakers of the importance of resisting Russian aggression. The UK and US are deeply bound by a shared mission to defend the values that provide security and prosperity for us all, he said. This is why we remain unwavering in our support of Ukraine. If we allow Putin's aggression to succeed, it will embolden those who challenge democracy and threaten our way of life. We cannot let them prevail. So that's a story out of the Daily Mail talking about fighting Russians in Europe. And, you know, if he would just, I don't know, worry about the border a little bit. I mean, my gosh, we got some issues down there. It's more than issues. It's almost a war zone in some border towns. Just almost a war going on. Okay, again, like, subscribe, toodaloo.